So, you want to be rich, and I'm not talking millionaire rich. You want 9 zeros behind a significant number. You want to be in the upper echelon of society. You want to be a member of the 1%. You want to be a billionaire. When your name is being announced, you will be called by your first and your last name. By the way, who noticed that billionaires are always called by their first and last names? For example, Michael Lee Chin, Jeff Bezos, Warren Buffett, Bill Gates, they are always called by their first and last name. So that is how you want to live. You want billionaire wealth, fame, power, and status. You want to par with Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos. If you feel like it, you could just pay anywhere from $200,000 to $30 million to ride on one of them spaceship, and it would be like nothing to you, cause spending that amount of money is like a normal person spending 100 Jamaican dollars. That's the level of wealth that you aspire to. But there is a big question mark. As a Jamaican, is that goal even attainable? Well, let's look into that. What are your chances of becoming a billionaire in Jamaica? First of all, let's look at the word billionaire. A billionaire is any person with a net worth of at least 1 billion units of a given currency, usually of a major currency such as the United States dollar, euro or pound. So let's make it clear. If you have 1 billion Jamaican dollars in the bank or your assets are worth 1 billion Jamaican dollars, technically you are and you are not a billionaire. Well, at least to Forbes standard, as the definition states, your net worth have to be in a major currency, and Jamaican dollars is not really considered a major currency, so we'll be working with that definition. So, as of last count of the world's billionaire by Forbes, there are approximately 2,668 individuals in the world with a net worth of $1 billion and over, which represents 0.00034% of the world's population of 7.8 billion people. So you see, it's a very small amount of people in the big league. So for the numbers I just gave, 0.00034%. In other words, for a population the size of Jamaica, which is approximately 3 million people, only 1.02 persons, or let's just say 1 person, has the chance to be a billionaire. And this now leads me to talk about our very own, or the only known Jamaican billionaire so far. And that's Michael Lee Chin, the only person in Jamaica who is listed on the Forbes billionaire list. Although I think Usain Bolt net worth could also reach that amount in about a decade, but that's for another video. So Michael Lee Chin is one of the 2 persons who I know of in the Caribbean to legally be a billionaire and are listed on the Forbes billionaire list. The next person is music superstar and now national heroine Rihanna from Barbados. And when I say legally, I mean they made their money through legitimate means, because as we know, there are or might be persons in the Caribbean who are actually billionaires but they made that money illegally, whether it be through drugs, fraud, corruption, etc. So back to Michael Lee Chin. Let's talk about his billions and where it comes from. Now, Michael Lee Chin was born in Port Antonio, Portland, Jamaica, to biracial parents, Chinese and African. Long story short, Michael Lee Chin's family were involved in business before Lee Chin would rise to become a billionaire. Lee Chin's mother, Hyacinth Gloria Chen, was an entrepreneur, and all who didn't know, she was the CEO of Super Plus Food Store. Yes, she started Super Plus with Vincent Chen in Port Antonio in 1964, and by 2003, it was Jamaica's largest retailer. So, as we can see, Lee Chin's family had a little money to give their kids the best start in life, as they were business persons. Even though Lee Chin would go on to become a self-made billionaire, he had a solid background which gave him a good head start. The next billionaire I will be looking at is Elon Musk, sometimes the richest man on the planet, who is worth approximately $226 billion. And just like Michael Lee Chin, we'll look at his early start in life. So all who didn't know, Elon Musk was born in South Africa, so he's an African, and he was born in wealth. His mother was a model and his father was one of the largest shareholders in an emerald mine in which he owned about 50%. One of the first companies that Elon Musk started was Zip2 with his brother Kimball Musk, and Zip2 was a company that provided and licensed the online city guide software to newspapers. In a biography on Elon Musk, it is claimed that Musk's father, Errol Musk, provided his sons with $28,000 to help start their business venture. And by now, you must see that there's a trend here. Almost all billionaires or most billionaires comes from families that had a substantial amount of wealth and connection. You look at billionaires such as Musk, Bill Gates, Zuckerberg, they all came from similar background. They had connections to resources and people who you and I don't. They all came from parents who were already successful in their career or businesses and had lots of connection. Now look at your situation and ask yourself, if you should go to your parents with a business idea, would they be able to give you, or at least lend you, 2 million Jamaican dollars to go and start your venture? For real, how many of us have parents who could help us out like that? Not because they wouldn't give it to you, but simply because they don't have it like that. I seriously think that I could and anyone can reach billionaire status given the opportunity and financial means to back their ambitions. And the reality is that you probably don't. So you can definitely look at your background, your financial status, your family, the school you went to, and your connections in society, and all these factors contribute to your chances of being in the $1 billion club. Now, I'm not saying that you cannot come from the struggles, and when I say struggles, I mean the real hardship, and not make it in life, because a lot of people started from the very bottom and are now millionaires. But I'm talking about billionaires. If you look on the Forbes list and then check these people's background, you can see that none of them came from struggling background. They had money and opportunity that the average person don't have access to. A next factor is race. When you look at the Forbes list, the top 10 richest men in the world are majority white men, and looking at the overall list, it is still dominated by white men. On the most recent release of the Forbes billionaire list, there are only 15 billionaires who are black out of the entire 2,755 billionaires, which represents 0.5% of the list, with the richest being Aliko Dangote, a Nigerian businessman who is worth $11.5 billion. And guess what? He came from a well-connected and wealthy family. According to data from the Federal Board Survey of Consumer Finances, it shows that a black man who has a master's degree only has about 10% chance of becoming a millionaire, while Asians and whites, it is 25% and 39% respectively. And yes, I know we're talking about becoming a billionaire, not millionaires, but overall the odds still remain the same. Be reminded, Jamaica is made up of mostly black people. The next thing that I will touch on is the easiest place in the world to become a billionaire, and that is the United States of America, which has a total of 724 billionaires. So to increase your chances, you probably should move to the USA. Now, these are some factors which could increase your chances of becoming a billionaire. And they are: number 1, you must already come from wealth and have connections. Your education level plays a role. Your race plays a role. The Forbes list is dominated by white men. Your country of origin or birth. You have more chances of becoming a billionaire in the United States more than any other country in the world. And number 5, with all that check, you must be inventive, innovative, and have an entrepreneurial spirit. So here we have our answer. Based on the factors listed above, your chances of becoming a billionaire in Jamaica is very low. And a matter of fact, all over the world, your chances of becoming a billionaire is relatively low, very low. Most likely, you will have to settle with being a millionaire and set the foundation so that your next generation or offspring have an increasing chance of becoming the first billionaire in your family. Now, that is it for this video. I hope you will consider subscribing to this channel and tell me, what do you think? Do you think you could become a billionaire in Jamaica? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below.